When my world fell apart, she was the only one who opened her door. I thought I was just crashing in her guest room, but I was wrong. There was something in the way she looked at me, something that made my heart race and my thoughts blur. She said I reminded her of someone. But what she really wanted, I never saw coming. My aunt didn't just take me in. She took more than that. And once I realized it, there was no turning back. Please subscribe and support me. I didn't expect to end up living with my aunt. I was 18, just starting college, when everything in my life changed. My parents had a terrible fight. Loud, destructive, and final. A divorce followed within weeks. My mom moved to another state with her new boyfriend, and my dad didn't have space in his apartment or his heart for me anymore. My Aunt Caroline, my dad's younger sister, stepped in like a savior. She lived in a quiet suburb outside of Chicago, in a beautiful, sleek house with large windows and clean white walls. She was in her late 30s, tall and elegant, with glossy black hair that flowed over her shoulders and eyes that always looked like she knew more than she let on. She was unmarried, childless, and carried herself with this mysterious grace that made people turn to look at her whenever she walked into a room. "You'll stay here as long as you need," she told me the day I arrived with nothing but 2 duffel bags and a backpack. "This house is too quiet anyway." First, I was nervous. She barely knew me. I remembered her from family holidays and birthday parties. She always arrived late, dressed perfectly, smelled expensive, and gave the kind of gifts that made everyone else's look cheap. But we had never really talked, not like family. Now she was the only family I had. I thought things would be awkward, but she made me feel welcome in ways I didn't expect. She stocked the fridge with my favorite snacks. She decorated the guest room with my favorite color. She even asked about my classes, my art projects, my dreams. "You're talented," she said once, holding up a sketch I'd been working on in my notebook. "You see the world with depth. That's rare." I started looking forward to our late-night chats. She always had a glass of wine, curled up on the couch in her silk robe. I'd sit across from her in sweats, feeling boyish and rough in comparison. She'd ask me about girls, about life, about the way I saw things. Her questions went deeper than anyone had ever asked me before. She'd watch me with eyes that flickered with amusement and something else I couldn't quite read. One night, I came home later than usual. She was already on the couch, the lights dimmed, her robe loosely tied. She glanced over at me and smiled slowly. "You're growing up fast," she said. "You look like your father did at your age, except softer, gentler." I laughed it off, unsure what to say, but my skin tingled. Days turned into weeks, and something shifted. The way she touched me lingered. A hand on my shoulder, her fingers brushing against mine when she passed me the remote. Her breath close when she leaned in to look at something on my laptop. One morning, I came downstairs in just my shorts, still groggy, and she was in the kitchen in a tight black dress that clung to her curves. She turned, looked at me, and her eyes raked over me before she smiled. "You should be careful walking around like that," she said. "You're not a boy anymore." I swallowed hard, suddenly aware of the tension that had been slowly building between us. That afternoon, while she was out, I found myself walking past her bedroom. The door was slightly open. Her perfume was thick in the air, sweet and heavy. I glanced inside and froze. A silky red nightgown lay spread across the bed, and a photo album sat half open on the dresser. I stepped in, hesitated, then picked up the album. Page after page of her life before me. Vacations, elegant dinners, men with suits and champagne. But toward the back were older photos of my father when he was younger. And then, tucked near the back, a photo of me. I looked maybe 16. She had circled it in pen. My stomach twisted. That night, everything changed. She called me into her room, said her neck hurt, asked me to rub her shoulders. I hesitated, heart pounding, but stepped behind her and placed my hands gently on her skin. She let out a soft moan. "Harder," she whispered. I pressed deeper, her skin warm under my hands. The silence between us became electric. She reached up and touched my hand, held it. "Do you know what you're doing to me?" she said softly. I didn't know how to respond. I didn't know if I should pull away or lean in. Every part of me wanted something I didn't understand. Her scent, her warmth, her presence. It overwhelmed me. "You're special," she murmured. "You feel things deeply, don't you?" I nodded. She turned her face toward me, and for a split second, I thought she was going to kiss me. But instead, she smiled and stood, walking away slowly, leaving me breathless and confused. From that night on, everything she did felt like a test. Her clothes became more revealing, her voice more intimate. She started calling me her man of the house whenever we were alone. She made jokes that sounded like flirting. Every moment with her felt like standing on the edge of something I couldn't name. Then one evening, I saw her crying in the kitchen. Her mascara was smudged, her hands shaking. I rushed to her. "What happened?" She looked at me with those haunted eyes. "I'm lonely," she whispered. "I gave up everything for people who left. Your father, my friends, everyone. And now I don't even know who I am anymore." I held her tightly, her body trembling in my arms. "You're not alone," I said. She looked up at me. "Aren't I?" That night, she asked me to stay with her in her bed. "Just until I fall asleep," she said. "Just stay close. I don't want to feel cold tonight." We lay there side by side, the silence thick, the room dim. Her hand found mine under the sheets. I didn't pull away. We just lay there, our fingers intertwined. The heat between us pulsed with every breath. "You're not a child anymore," she whispered. "And I'm not just your aunt." Her words echoed in my mind for days. I stopped bringing friends over. I stopped talking to anyone about her. Because no one would understand what was happening. Because even I didn't understand. One afternoon, I came home and found her packing a suitcase. "Are you going somewhere?" I asked. She looked at me. "I've been offered a job in Paris. It's everything I ever wanted." I felt like the ground vanished beneath me. "So you're leaving?" She nodded. "I thought I could build something here. With you. But I was wrong." I stepped closer. "You weren't wrong. You made me feel like I mattered. Like someone saw me." She touched my face. "And you made me feel alive again." I wanted to say everything, but I couldn't find the words. So I kissed her forehead and walked away. The next morning, she was gone. No note, no goodbye. Took me months to move on. I told myself it was just confusion, just a temporary bond built out of loneliness. But late at night, I still remembered the way her voice softened when she said my name, the way her eyes lingered just a second too long, the way she made me feel seen. She took me in when no one else would. She gave me comfort, safety, and something dangerously close to love. But she also took more than that. She took a piece of my heart with her, and she never gave it back.